My name is Adam. I am 27, and I am a trans guy. The day I was born, the doctor announced it's a girl, and that was the beginning of my journey. I never really felt like a girl. It never worked for me at all, but I played the role I was forced to play. My parents, they wanted me to wear dresses and just be the daughter that they were told by, some doctor that they had. So I just had to deal with it. It wasn't easy. I didn't understand really what was going on, why I didn't feel right in my own body. I actually thought that all girls felt like they should be boys. I thought that that was normal. Apparently not so much. But I didn't know any different. All I knew was, I was told that I'm a girl. I was being forced to wear dresses and act like a girl and, just do all these, stereotypical girl sort of things. Just be the daughter and granddaughter that my family always wanted. Being the firstborn to my parents and the first grandchild on either side, it put a lot of pressure on me. And I just stayed, the way that they wanted me to be for a long time. I couldn't really talk about it. I came from a very religious family. They, they went to church all the time, according to them. Mainly my grandma, but even my parents. I should not even have friends that are gay. And when I went away to college at the age of 19, that was my first time, really being away from my family and allowing myself to explore a side of me that I had never been allowed to explore. It was scary. It was overwhelming, and I was terrified. I didn't know how to deal with it. I mean, here I am being forced into being something I'm not. I just acted my way through the first, 19 years of my life at that point, being what my family wanted me to be. Being at college definitely opened my eyes to a whole different world out there. I met people that were gay, lesbian, bi, androgynous. I didn't really meet anyone at that point that was trans. I really didn't understand that. But I understood that I didn't have to be straight. I could be queer, I could be androgynous. I had options. I started to explore those options. Again, that was very scary for me. I knew my family would not support me, would not approve of that. And at first I thought that maybe I was bisexual. And I actually came out to my cousin. She's one of the first people I told. I knew she would be okay. She's very supportive, open-minded compared to the rest of my family. And eventually I decided, no, I'm not bisexual. I must be a lesbian. So I identified that, even though it still didn't feel right. I was so lost, so confused, and still just terrified. I mean, I did not know how I was going to tell my family that, I'm not what they've always thought I was. I started dressing more and more like a guy, and that was comfortable for me. So going home for visits actually became increasingly difficult. At first, when I first moved away, I didn't want to be away from my family because to me, if I was with them, I felt safe. Even though I was unhappy, I didn't have to explore this whole different side of me. And then until it got to the point where I didn't want to go home because I couldn't be myself anymore. It was really difficult. I would still go home dressed, just like a guy. They didn't like it at all. But, they tolerated it. My mom would try to take me shopping and, of course, go to the women's section. And, yeah, I ended up not getting anything because I couldn't shop there. It was not right. But I still didn't understand that I was actually transgender. I thought I was an androgynous lesbian or, queer. I didn't really know. I was very confused. This was a whole new world to me. Eventually I did, tell my parents that I was gay, and that didn't go over very well. They thought it was just a phase, that, I don't know, it was just college, actually, yeah, they blamed it on my college, making me gay. Any excuse to blame it on something, but not, that just the way I am. Because they didn't understand that someone can just be born gay, or trans, or, any of that. They didn't understand that at all, because it's not something that is talked about in the small town that I actually came from. Especially people that, went to the churches there, they were all very, very, closed-minded to, the GLBTQ community. It was like it didn't exist. So, they, just were like, gotta be a phase. And that summer, when I went home from college to live, with my parents, we fought a lot. It was really bad. I just couldn't be myself. I was so unhappy. I had my parents, just didn't understand. We just couldn't communicate about it. And that was really hard. And, I thought that I'm going to lose my parents because of this part of me that I cannot change. And little did I know it was actually going to get a little bit worse before it started getting better. After I finished college, I moved to Southern Ontario, the Niagara region actually, and I lived there for a while. And that's where I really started to discover more about myself. I started realizing that I preferred being seen as a guy. I preferred having the male pronouns used. I didn't understand it, but it's what made me feel a little bit better. Then I started meeting other people that were transgender, and I started seeing that, that's who I am as well. I was supposed to be, born in a male body, but I wasn't. I have a male brain, but my body's not male. That was really hard for me to deal with, because again, my family could not accept me being gay. How are they going to accept me being transgender? I thought I was going to have to just run away, just vanish basically, and start my life all over again somewhere else, and my parents not knowing really where I was or, what happened to me. I almost thought that might be an easier route than actually telling them. I didn't do that. I'm glad I didn't. Running away is not always the best option. You really need to face things head on, no matter how hard it is, because it's the better way to go about it. So I came out to my parents as being transgender. At first they didn't really understand what I was talking about. They thought that a counselor could, fix me and I'd be happy being female. they thought that for a while, until I had to break it to them that that was not going to happen, and that I would be changing my name legally to Adam, and eventually starting hormones and having surgery. They were not happy about this at all. My parents said some very hurtful things to me that I would never wish upon anybody going through what I was going through. Not only was I, struggling with so much internal confusion, I needed my parents, I needed my family, and they weren't there for me when I really needed them the most. That was hard. I thought about giving up, but I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. I fought through it, no matter how hard it was. I thought I lost my family, but I didn't. It was very, very difficult, though. I had no one to turn to. I didn't know really who to trust. I had some good friends, but I didn't have my mom to call when I just wanted to talk to my mom. That was hard. But I stuck with what I knew I needed to do in order to be happy. I continued on with my transition. I had my name changed, which, they were not happy about that one. I had top surgery. Again, they were not happy about that at all. But it's what I needed to do for me, and I did it. Recently, my family and I have become closer. They can see now that I am happier, that I'm, more outgoing, I'm just more comfortable with who I am. It took a long time. It actually took one of my mom's friends to help them see that this was okay. I owe a lot to them. My mom's friend, best friend, was the one that showed them that they could be accepting of their transgender child. And that means the world to me. So it's a rough road, but now I am just over a year on testosterone and over a year top surgery as well. And things are definitely much better than what they were. I'm happier. I'm not on antidepressants anymore, because I'm not having to hide this huge part of who I am. I'm more outgoing. I see a future for myself that I never really saw before. Before all I saw was just a dead end, and now I've got a future. So it does get better. It takes time, and it takes a lot of strength, a lot of energy, and sometimes creating your own family. Sometimes you need to lean on other people that are maybe going through the same thing, have been through the same thing, or just open-minded and understanding and willing to be there for you and love you no matter who you are. That's what matters, is that you've got that love and support. So stick with it. Don't be afraid to be who you are, and just stay positive, and it will get better. Before I moved out west, I actually sat down and had a family dinner with my parents and my sister. I never thought that would happen again, but it did. So, my message, just be who you are. And eventually, those that love you, if they really do love you, they will come around, and they will love you for who you are, no matter what that is. So, be true to yourself, and just stay focused on your own future. That's what matters.